Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Grapplers Academy. We're in week 3 of turtle attacking this week, and today we're going to be going over like one of the more common errors that I think people run into. And like sometimes they want to turn their opponent over in turtle, but it's quite difficult to if your opponent's got a good base.
And if they don't want to be turned over, it's like trying to get up off your back if someone will top you and they don't want to get back up. It's just a very difficult task to do. And we've got some sort of different takes on fairly high percentage and fairly common turnovers, but with just slight tweaks on that we've sort of found more successful against more successful, more experienced grapplers. Yeah,
both ideas are quite similar, aren't they? I'm going to be looking at control based off a chin strap control. So you're going to be looking at it's like wrist control.
Yeah, wrist control on the opposite leg.
Yeah, so we'll dive straight into that. But again, just as a point of reference for thinking about it, so people will often go to turtle from a defensive point of view because they don't want to give up those points in comp. If you're in points competitions, then getting that turnover is important because you can start to pass and look to advance, even if you're not just thinking about the submission. Some people will just kind of sit there and hang out because it's a no point situation.
Yeah, and like, you want to make them not want to go turtle as well if the opportunity arises again, because make it uncomfortable for them, make it like really gnarly for them, and they'd rather give up the points than be in that position.
Yeah, exactly. So from the chin strap control, we've gone into detail on this about where the hands are and what we're doing with the firearm. So we can just start off by cupping the tricep again like we have done before, and we've got that initial chin strap where we've got a good pinch in. Whether we've got the legs sprawled out or whether we're in tight there, for now doesn't really matter, but we're going to keep that tight pinch in and start to steer the head. I'm going to go to the opposite side, so whichever hand that is attacking the chin strap for me, I'm always going to look to attack the other side in terms of turnovers or darts or attacking for the legs. So when we're coming through here, I'm going to come over and reach and control in on the wrestler's ride position while I've still got control of the chin there, starting to lift and turn. Now that position in of itself is not comfortable, the person's going to want to start to move from there. But when I want to start to turn them this way, I'm going to look to control one of the bases. I think about my opponent like a table, and I want to take away one of the table legs to start to tipple the table. It's going to make it a lot easier than trying to do it with 4 legs on the table. So once we come through there, first option that we're going to go for is cupping this far leg, and sometimes it's difficult to get in underneath, so just rocking a bit of weight until you can get your hand underneath the ankle is a good option. If the guy on the bottom's good and you've got a good base, they'll be able to get the ankle nice and flat on the floor, and sometimes it's really difficult to just scoop that up, so just a bit of disturbing of the weight is sometimes enough to get in underneath. So we've come around there, we can use that disturbing of the weight until we can get that grip underneath. And sometimes we might just be able to run straight back over the top and roll them in towards you, but oftentimes they've got this base on the hand, we've still got the control of the chin, and it's going to be quite difficult to do so. So quick little tip that I've got for you on this one is to tuck that foot in underneath and bring my hand on the opposite side of the body. So let's just turn this way through. So when I've got the chin control there and I've got the ankle, I'm coming underneath the body. Now I can collapse this leg and run through in that direction whilst keeping hold of the chin. So they're either going to sprawl out on the belly there, or you're going to continue to be able to turn them over and roll them to the back. So let's just go through that one more time from this angle. So we're starting at the front, we're going to run around to the side and keep that initial point of control. If we can get immediately under the ankle, great. If not, we can start to lift the position until we can get that lift there. Bringing the foot underneath their own body, so you can see that my hand and my forearm have gone onto the other side. Whilst I'm still pressuring in here and I'm tucking him up, I'm going to use my shoulder on the arm that's got hold of the leg to get in underneath him and start to roll him over. And when I'm driving towards the leg that I've got a hold of and looking to either get a full turnover and start attacking from my side control options, or if he just chooses to go belly down, we've got options for looking at the back as well.
And my variance is very similar mechanics, where we're grabbing the feet on the base and we're trying to turn them over. But we're going to go for a wrist control as opposed to the chin strap. So when we go side on here, this turnover I tend to get from this side here. I'm going to use the arm that's on the same side of the body. I'm going to reach underneath the armpit. So here, I'm going to reach underneath the armpit. I'm going to take hold of the wrist. Now when I get to here, I'm going to turn to face them, and my shoulder is going to go into the shoulder blade. I'm trying to collapse the shoulder down, so I'm trying to pull their wrist underneath them, driving my shoulder into their shoulder blade, and this will collapse their posture here. Now I'm keeping hold of the wrist and I'm keeping that pressure going down, and sometimes I'll drive my forearm and elbow into the shoulder to keep that in position. Now from here, I need to get the far foot. But again, like we had in the previous technique, Bond's feet are quite difficult to get underneath. So from here, I'm going to start moving around a little bit, getting underneath the hips, shoving him forward, make that foot go nice and light, and then I'm going to come back down and settle in. Now I'm going to start running the clock here now, and by that I mean running round in a circle through the central point. The central point is going to be my shoulder into Bond's shoulder blade. I'm going to run in a circle around that while pulling this leg with me. So I'm going to come up, run the circle round, and pull his leg and turn him over. Now it's important here that when you've turned them over, you keep hold of the wrist, even though their body weight's going through the arm. And I'm also keeping hold of their shin. Because here, if I don't keep hold of the shin, Bond's going to turn right back over, we're back at square one. Whereas if we keep hold of the shin, I'm going to keep it tucked nice and tightly. As Bond tries to turn back over, I've got control of the hips. And I've also got control of this bottom arm, which can also be called a Dagestani handcuff. Now once I get to here, I'm going to step over the top leg and put myself into a half guard. And as my coach Cam likes to say, you're going to lock down, you're going to skydive on their hip while keeping this control here. And this is a really, really strong pin here. And it's one that Cam showed me a while back, and I use quite successfully. And for MMA purposes, if I'm loading up the punches here, Bond starts moving around trying to defend, there's nowhere for him to go. My weight's going through nice and strong, and I'm keeping everything nice and tight. So one more time, and just for note as well, if I wanted to, I can also attack the far arm, the far side with the same grip. It's just a different entry point. So, this way a little bit. So if I was to do the same technique on the far arm, this arm's going to come underneath, I'm going to grab here. Now the only difference when I'm grabbing hold of the leg is as I'm circling around the body, I'm going to hit him with my hips. So I'm going to hit with my hips and open up. Same again. I'm here, I'm going to hit with my hips, take hold and run around. When we get here, stepping over the top leg, you're going to hamstring curl in, tie it up with a lockdown and lace over the top leg. Just turn this way for a second. So the detail for this lace is I'm going to go underneath with my leg, my other leg is going to go underneath the shoelaces. I'm going to come over the top here, and then from here I can skydive in, keep it hold. MMA purposes I can strike, or I can transition to a back, mount, or even start attacking a hammerlock on this underneath arm.
And that one's quite a nice one because there's a lot of torque on the spine.
Yeah.
And it gets the person underneath in quite an uncomfortable position. And again, like we've been talking about with Turtle, it's getting that person underneath to move and expose something that you can attack. You do see that one quite a lot in MMA, don't you?
Yeah,
it does open up a lot of options.
Use that quite successfully.
Dagestani handcuff, just tie you up, lock your arms up so you've not got an option to defend, and then just punch you until the choke's there.
That's it. And one thing I like about Bond one is, as you're getting turned over, it feels like your airs and your lungs are sort of getting crushed as well. So as you're trying to sort of bridge and escape and get your breath in, that's the movement's not there, so it's very hard to recoup your air and get that power going back out there, especially if you've got your arms trapped, your chin twisted, and your hips being crushed over.
So kind of the key principle for both of them is the same though, isn't it? It's whether it's the hold on the wrist or the hold on the leg, it's taking away a table leg and then driving force over that table leg that you've taken away.
No, definitely.
So yeah, both nasty options. Go back and check out some of the other options that we've got from attacking the turtle as well. We've got a couple of subs as well as some more turnovers. Also the side control options that we've got as well. This all links in nicely, which is the reason why we've tied it in together there. You'll start to see that sequence building up. So go and check out the previous videos in this series, as well as the podcast that we put out this week, which was on gi versus no gi.
Yeah.
Which is your preference? I know which is our preference.
Make sure there's not a wrong answer. Well,
yeah, no wrong answer.
There's no wrong answer, but if you pick the wrong one, I will judge you.
He might choke you with his belt or something with that glove.
Or
yeah. So audio platforms on that, at the Grapplers Academy on all the social medias.
Yeah, and if you like what you see, make sure you like, subscribe, drop us a comment, even if it's just say hello. And yeah, let us know what you want to see, let us know what you want to hear on the podcast, and we're going to put more content out for you guys.
Thank you.